What is going on, guys, and welcome to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video. Quick story. I just did this video, a whole 15-minute segment, without screwing up. And I got to the end and realized my mic was muted. Devastating. So that means I'm just going to have to do it again. So here we go. First of all, this video was requested by Dougie, our guild leader, and it's made for Dougie with love. Okay. Take a look at the left of the screen. You will see Darth Treya on the upper left, Darth Sion on the upper right, and the Sith Triumvirate with Nihilus included at the bottom. These are going to be the characters we are going to have to face off against in the new Sith Raid, according to Capital Games. Now, are we going to be able to play as these characters? I don't know if we're going to have them unlocked yet, but I can guarantee you in the future we will be able to play as them. But who is the big unlock coming at the end of this month? I still have my money on Darth Malgus. Okay, so top 10 Zetas of February 2018. This is subject to change at any minute. Also, for those of you that disagree with me, feel free to leave mean comments in the comment section, okay? We can have an open discussion about this. Now, to start off with, Jedi Training Raid. Now, before I say this, a lot of you are going to be going, what? Why did you only Zeta 1? What's up with that? No, okay, here's why. I am able to get first in Arena with only her leadership ability Zeta. I do not have a lot of people say the other two are crucial. I haven't found that. I may drop a few more because I don't have those Zeta, but I'm still able to get first every day. And that's what the difference between 1 Zeta and 3 Zetas is. Her leadership ability states, resistance allies have 30% critical chance plus 30% critical damage. When they score a critical hit, they have a 70% chance to inflict expose for 2 turns. This effect can't be resisted. Resistance allies gain 10% turn meter when an enemy is exposed. When a resistance ally uses a special ability, all exposed enemies lose 5% turn meter. This effect can't be resisted. If the resistance ally has no debuffs, reduce their cooldowns by 1. This is similar to Finn, but different at the same time. When you keep getting exposes, and you can gain turn meter, and then when you use a special ability, they lose turn meter. And when you use a special ability and you don't have a debuff, and you can do this with R2, it's fantastic. His smoke screen will continue to just basically get down, get glitch, get down to 0 a lot quicker if he doesn't have a debuff. That is more useful than you think it is, okay? Great leadership ability. I run it right now. You have to use it with resistance characters, though. That's the thing about leadership abilities, is they make you run them with the characters of that faction. I'm putting her in here because right now Jedi Training Raid is the meta. That might change very soon. Next, BB-8. Again, part of the meta. Roll with the punches is the only one necessary to be Zeta. BB-8 has 80% counter chance, and when BB-8 attacks out of turn, he calls a random resistance ally to assist. This is huge, because when Rey uses her middle ability on BB-8, he will call in another resistance ally. And if he calls in R2, the chance to stun the character, stun him twice in the same turn, because using R2 as well, is huge. It's huge, okay? Massive. So that's what's valuable about BB-8. He's in the top 10 right now, but he could fall out very quickly if Jedi Training Raid teams start to fall by the wayside. Next, Commander Luke Skywalker. Used to be the meta. He's not anymore, but he's still a fantastic character overall. Galactic War, raids, territory battles, etc. His most important one to be Zeta is it binds all things. The other two are not necessary. It binds all things. Luke has 40% potency. Whenever Luke resists a detrimental effect, he recovers 5% health and 5% protection. Whenever Luke inflicts a debuff, he gains 10% turn meter, and others allies gain half that amount. This is basically a leadership ability in a unique ability, and here's why. When he inflicts a debuff, he gains 10% turn meter, but the other allies, the rest of the team, gains 5%. So he's also giving some of his ability to the other allies, which is huge. That's why it's considered, this is actually considered a better leadership ability than his actual leadership. Next character. Oh my gosh. Raid Han. Let me tell you, probably the most fun Zeta you will have in the game so far. It's shoots first. 10% critical chance. The first time each turn Han uses his basic attack, he attacks again, dealing 50% less damage. Make sure you get this. He attacks twice. And his second attack, which is 50% lower than his regular attack, is still powerful than most people's first attack. In raids, galactic war, territory battles, and he's still at the top of the meta in Jedi Raid teams in Arena because of his ability to stun at the beginning of the turn. And by the way, always stun BB-8. I've said this a million times. I'll say it again. Always stun BB-8 first. And his ability to give almost twice the damage is incredible. He should be up there on their list. Second, the only character right now, excuse me, that I have both, that I recommend Zeta-ing both abilities R2-D2. His most important, number crunch. He is the MVP of the, he has been for the arena like the last 6-8 months. At the start of battle, R2-D2 gains 10% max protection for each droid ally, 10% offense for each Galactic Republic ally, 10% max health for each Rebel ally, and 10% potency for each Resistance ally. At the start of the battle, and when R2-D2 is revived, other droid, Galactic Republic, Rebel, and Resistance allies gain 10% of R2-D2's max protection, offense, max health, and potency until R2-D2 is defeated. This actually can be shown by, I want you to put in some of your weakest characters into a Galactic War battle. I want you to put a good R2 in them with good mods and stuff, and then you can actually see their health bar and their protection bar. You'll see if it's thicker or not as thick, and you will be able to tell the difference. This ability, here's the one thing right now that I think is going to happen is when the meta becomes light side, I think he's maybe, or excuse me, dark side, I think he may fall out of favor a little bit more. Here's why. This is the most underrated Zeta in the game. It's combat analysis. While R2-D2 is active, all allies gain 10% critical chance and 10% accuracy. While R2-D2 is active, whenever a light side ally scores a critical hit, dispel all debuffs on them. Do you realize how incredible that is? Especially with a Jedi training Rey lead, when she ups critical chance, when you're getting a critical hit, you're getting rid of all, you could have 10 debuffs. And if you hit somebody with a critical hit, they're gone. You don't have to have a Chirrut or just an individual cleanser in your team. Kenobi is there because he's a tank and a cleanser. He's one of the best characters in the game. But you don't have to sacrifice a spot just to get a Captain Rex or a Chirrut who may not be as powerful as the 5th character you can have in there. But, as I said, this says whenever a light side ally scores a critical hit. When dark side becomes meta, this will be useless, okay? But he is still way up there in the top 10 Zetas right now. Next, he's been on here forever. I personally don't have him Zetaed because I have gone down a different path, and I just never felt like it. Finn. His Zeta is this. Resistance allies gain 30% offense and 60% defense, and other allies gain half that. Whenever a Resistance ally loses Foresight, they gain advantage for 2 turns, and whenever an enemy takes damage from exposed, reduce the cooldowns of all Resistance allies by 1 and grant them 35% turn meter. If you get into an arena, or any match, I should say, with Finn, Poe, Resistance Trooper, and then 2 of your liking, you could, if they're modded correctly and you get the abilities off correctly, you could start the whole match without the other team taking a turn because of the ability to spam Poe's ability to put up exposes and gain turn meter himself. In territory battles, in light side, you could have a gear 8 resistance team with a Finn lead, and you could go through a, I think the farthest is 6, or the 7-star category, and not get touched and win. And people can't do that with gear 12 7-star characters. That's how incredible Finn is as a resistance leader. Next, Mother Talzin. I will not gear up Mother Talzin or give her a Zeta. I find her, she's one of the other best meta characters in the game. She's extremely tough to beat. Jedi training raid teams can have a really tough time even with a Thrawn and a Raid Han. Imperial troopers, Empire you can bring in can wipe them out. But Mother Talzin basically gives... Fine. You don't have to think or strategize nearly as much with her. She will... You get her with General Kenobi and the ability with her leadership, which I'm going to talk about, it can just keep spreading plague, and that's how you end up dying. Plague. Her leadership ability states, Night Sister allies have plus 50% potency and plus 30 speed. When a Night Sister ally uses a special ability, they inflict plague on the selected target for 3 turns, which can't be evaded. When an enemy resists a detrimental effect, Night Sister allies gain 5% turn meter. When a Night Sister ally uses a basic ability during their turn, a random defeated Night Sister ally is revived with 50% health and called to assist. Then the revived ally is immediately defeated unless an enemy was defeated. The revived ally can't be revived by this effect again until the end of the turn. So you could wipe out every Night Sister on the map, but let's say the zombie and Talzin. And Talzin uses her basic, and old Daka comes up and stuns you, and she takes out one of your other characters at the same time. Daka's back. Daka uses her basic ability. Asajj comes up, gives massive damage. She's back alive. This is an incredible... It's almost an OP Zeta if it didn't have a faction like the Empire that can wipe it out in about 30 seconds. But I don't appreciate it. I don't feel like people will disagree with me, like I'm really earning that through strategy. So I don't want her. I'm not, but she is in the top 10 Zeta. Next. Excellent raid character, excellent arena character, still in the meta, fantastic anywhere, and that's my man, my favorite dark side character, Grand Admiral Thrawn, and his Zeta ability, Ebb and Flow. You can actually solo Phase 3 of the tank raid with this Zeta. Thrawn has 100% counter chance, 100% tenacity, and 50% speed, while any enemies are fractured. Whenever another Empire ally uses a special ability while Thrawn is active, that ally gains 15% turn meter, and if any enemies are fractured, Thrawn and fractured enemies lose 15% turn meter. You go into Phase 3, you fracture the Super Battle Droid, you put the Commander Luke, and then Palpatine, Shore Trooper, Tarkin in there along with Thrawn. You can solo Phase 3 of the raid. If you get him fractured and just keep using your special abilities to keep the turn meter low on Thrawn, it's a great ability. Okay, it's one of the, actually when I got Thrawn, I actually did this one pretty early in the game, and I love it. Some people will disagree that this is more of a niche Zeta, but it's still in the top 10. And number 10, a new Zeta just added to the game, the one, the only, Emperor Palpatine. Now, I have not Zetaed him yet. Here's why. I am waiting for the new Sith characters to come out before I determine if I'm going to Zeta him or Zeta them. His Zetaed leadership ability states this. Empire and Sith allies have plus 35% potency and plus 35% max health. Jedi and Rebel enemies have plus or minus 35% potency and minus 35% evasion. When an Empire ally inflicts a debuff during their turn, they gain 20% turn meter. When a Sith ally inflicts a debuff during their turn, they recover 20% health. When a debuff on an enemy expires, Empire and Sith allies gain 5% turn meter. So I want you to think of it this way. You're branded with Emperor Palpatine, and you have some really good Empire characters in there. And they have a General Kenobi. Let's say Vader just used his AoE attack, and Kenobi cleanses. Your team basically gets full turn meter again, and you get to go almost 5 times in a row. I absolutely love this ability, but as I said, as you can see, I'm saving the Zetas to see what's going to come out with a new Sith character before I make a decision. And I am going to throw in an honorable mention, mainly because this character is extremely hard to get so far, and also because it's not used a lot in the top of the arena, but when it is, it always works. And that is one of the characters I don't have unlocked. Honorable mention, Imperial Probe Droid. And what I'm talking about is his Imperial Logistics. Imperial Probe Droid has plus 50% max health at the end of each droid ally turn, and at the end of each Empire ally turn, and at the end of each Rebel enemy turn. Imperial Probe Droid gains 3% turn meter. While Imperial Probe Droid is active, target locked enemies have a minus 25% evasion and can't gain buffs. This is huge. If you can get target lock out there with this, with the Imperial Probe Droid, and they're gonna, you know, think about this with a BB-8, and when they're trying to throw up all that stuff, they can't get buffs. That is incredibly valuable. A lot of people don't have it, so that's why he's still in the honorable mention. But that is an excellent Zeta. So if you're thinking about getting Imperial Probe Droid, I haven't worked toward him yet, but he is a very, very good character. There's a lot of YouTube game changers that show him that he is excellent. Him with Palpatine can dominate the arena. But that is all for the top 10 Zetas as of February 16th. It could change tomorrow. I will make another video when that happens. But as of right now, these are my preferred Zetas. Again, it's not gospel. You don't have to listen to me. Do not sue me if you don't like them after you Zeta a character, okay? But otherwise, have a great day. Play Star Wars. Best game ever. Peace out.